My name is Susan Dacy. I fly a 1942 Boeing Stearman biplane.
Time indicator as she comes down the show line here. You'll notice it there.
Well, I got into aviation. I was very fortunate. I actually was lucky enough to grow up at a small airport, 3 grass sod runways in the very northern tip of Illinois, in Harvard, Illinois, which is about 25 miles northeast of Rockford. And my dad had actually just fell in love with aviation at a very, very early age as a child for him. And he was born in 1915. And so he was of the era where airplanes were very, very new. He'd see airplanes, an old airplane flying, well, it's time to probably do airplane for him, and flying over. And he'd race out to wherever it would land. He'd be that kid that would run the gas can into town to get some fuel and hoping maybe to get rewarded with a ride. Sometimes yeah, sometimes not. But anyway, he was so infatuated that he continued on. He had a wonderful mechanical aptitude. And eventually, after serving in World War II as a B-24 crew chief, I was able to start his own airport, and our home was there, so we grew up around it. He was, as I said, a very excellent mechanic, so he serviced a lot of classic and very unique and wonderful airplanes along the way while he worked on, regular general aviation. And we just fell in love with planes from there. I went to the Rockford, Illinois airshow at an early age, saw a big, loud, smoky biplane flying around, and really was just hooked from that point on. Knew someday that was my dream. But my dad did fly a Piper Cub. We'd take turns each Sunday getting our ride. I have 3 brothers, 1 sister. The brothers are all very much into aviation, and so we would take turns with that. But I realized I really did want my own aircraft, and so I was interested in the mechanical end of it too. I did attend aircraft mechanic training at Southern Illinois University, so that's how I proceeded to start my career. But prior to that, I did learn how to fly at our hometown airport in a Piper Cub, and along the way, even in high school, with much help, rebuilt a Stearman biplane, not the one I'm using in the air show today, but one. And after experience in the Piper Cub, I transitioned to the Stearman, and I've been flying that type of aircraft since I was a teenager. I was so lucky that I was able to start. I was just very just dedicated. Well, and I knew if I wanted my own airplane, I need to know how to work on it, and I needed to put in the time and effort. And it was very rewarding. The airplane was finished when I was 17, and I actually still do own that airplane. Then along the way, an opportunity came up where the airplane Big Red that I currently fly in the air shows became available, and a friend of mine contacted me and said, "You just got to get this airplane." And the rest is, here I am at Oshkosh with Big Red. My older brother, Dave, was into the air shows before I was. He's a little older. So, and at one time we had the aerobatic national contests were held at our small general aviation airport. So a lot of very well-respected, famous airshow pilots were practicing at our field and competing. And my brother Dave tweaked information out of them, and he, in fact, is a natural pilot. He's now a retired aerobatic pilot, runs the airport at our hometown full-time, an excellent mechanic as well. But at any rate, he was an excellent mentor, and a couple of other pilots in the area, actually one in particular who was on the national aerobatic team, gave me a lot of pointers and helped me along the way. And I always do recommend to people getting into it, just don't haphazardly go into this. But the wonderful organizations out there, International Aerobatic Club, and of course EAA has fantastic guidance of how to go about these things with great information. I have just recently retired, but I did it for over 38 years and loved the whole experience. It's wonderful career for me. I do have to say I'm very happy. I'm now representing Piedmont Airlines as a stepping stone to get in with the major airlines, and I've got that written proudly all over my aircraft as well. But as I got into it again at our small airport, A lot of folks kept their airplanes there, and they were airline pilots. So they, again, I saw their lifestyle. And they gave me wonderful advice on how to go about it. So as I said, my initial flying, I did get my private pilot's license at my local airport. And from there, I went onward. I attended Southern Illinois University and worked on advancing my ratings that included instrument, multi-engine. Beyond that, I had to go out and build up flying hours, which I did flight instructing, and then worked into flying small, lightweight air cargo. I flew twin engine aircraft. At that time, canceled checks, film that had to be developed way back in the day when those avenues existed. Of course, that doesn't even nowadays with everything electronic and computerized. Those exact jobs don't exist, but they were very rewarding for me because they were a great stepping stone. And then I went with what we call nowadays retail airlines. And then from there, acquired more hours and experience, and then was fortunate enough to go with American Airlines for, like I said, just over 38 years. Unless you truly, truly love aviation, because there are always, the highs and the lows, really, get into it for the right reasons. It's a fantastic career, but put your heart in the right place too, and make sure you do love aviation. Do anything and everything you can to, work out there or get a job and use your resources if you can to, go out, take a flying lesson, any opportunity you get. And also another great resource, of course, the EAA has fantastic advice, women in aviation for all pilots, male and female, wonderful advice and how to go about all of these things as well.